Zamba, 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 zam, zam. Feel the rhythm. Sunrise paints the sky in gold. Heartbeat stories left untold. Dancing rivers call our names. In the village, feel no chase. Feet on earth, hands to the sky. Children laughing as we fly. Drums awaken every soul. Let the spirit make us whole. Sing it loud. Join the crowd. Lift your voice. Let it roll. Zamba, zam, zam. This is home. Zamba, zam, zam. Lift me higher. Joy like fire. Never tire. Spin around. Feel the sun. Zamba, zam, zam. We are one. Hey, 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 hey. Golden fields and mountains tall. Hear the echoes, hear the call. Through the valleys, through the street. Life is richer than our dreams. Voices rise, hearts collide. In this rhythm we confide. Stories dance with every beat. Zamba, zam, zam, feel the heat. Sing it loud. Join the crowd. Lift your voice. Let it roll. Zamba, zam, zam. This is home. Zamba, zam, zam. Lift me higher. Joy like fire. Never tire. Spin around. Feel the sun. Zamba, zam, zam. We are one. Hey, 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 Zamba, zamba. Zamba, zamba. Feel the drum, feel the rain. Dance away every pain. Feel the drum, feel the rain. Dance away every pain. Zamba, zam, zam. Lift me higher. Joy like fire. Never tire. Spin around. Feel the sun. Zamba, zam, zam. We are one. Hey, 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 Zamba, zamba, zamba. This is home. Zamba, zam, zam. Zamba, zamba, zam, zam. Feel the rhythm. Zamba, zamba, zam, zam. Yeah, 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 yeah. Zamba, zamba, zam, zam. Yeah, 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 yeah. Zamba, zamba, zam, zam. Zamba, zamba, zam, zam. Sunrise paints the sky in gold. Heartbeat stories left untold. Dancing rivers call our names. In the village, feel no chase. Feet on earth, hands to the sky. Children laughing as we fly. Drums awaken every soul. Let the spirit make us whole. mountains talk. Hear the echoes, hear the call. Through the valleys, through the streams, life is richer than our dreams. Oh, voices rise, hearts collide. In this rhythm we confide. Stories dance with every beat. Oh, samba, samba, feel the heat. Oh, sing it loud, sing it loud. Oh, join the crowd, join the crowd. Lift your voice, let it roll. Samba, samba, this is home. Samba, samba, lift me higher. Joy like fire, never tire. Spin around, feel the sun. Samba, 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 samba. We are one. Zam zam, zamba. Feel the drum, feel the rain, dance away every pain. Zamba, zam zam, lift me higher. Joy like fire, never tire. Spin around, feel the sun. Samba, zam zam, samba, zam zam. We are one. This is home. Oh, oh, oh.
Support the preservation of a vital cultural tradition. Vodou faces erasure and misrepresentation in today's world. Your support ensures Vodou's future and cultural integrity. Help preserve this vital culture today.
Honor and respect, honor and respect, honor and respect. Divine all blessed greetings and salutations. It is another edition of Revolutionary Hoodoo, New Orleans Voodoo Secrets and Recipes. Voodoo Hoodoo 101. Brought to you by, powered, produced, promoted, sponsored, and supported by NOIVD, New Orleans International Vodou Day. We are 19 days away from New Orleans International Vodou Day. New Orleans International Vodou Day exists to restore rightful dignity, authority, and global recognition to the Voodoo family of traditions. Our mission, purpose, and the motive behind New Orleans International Vodou Day, NOIVD, forms a single coherent vision to protect, unify, and elevate Vodou, and Voodoo as living world cultural traditions with authority and diplomatic presence. Our mission continues with NOIVD to respond to the urgent needs of this moment, a time when voodoo is simultaneously sought after while yet misunderstood and misrepresented. Our purpose unfolds across several dimensions. NOIVD exists to protect the traditions from harm. NOIVD confronts misrepresentation in media, exploitation by uninitiated practitioners, cultural theft and commodification, historical trauma, and colonial narratives, and by establishing standards of authenticity. NOIVD becomes a shield for the traditions and the communities that carry them forward. NOIVD serves as a platform for public teaching, ceremonial demonstration, scholarly dialogue, youth and community education, and this ensures that what the world learns about voodoo comes from real practitioners and not stereotypes or outsiders. We continue to invite your support and participation, volunteership, donations, certainly promotion and sharing the information of this coming powerful, legendary, and historic event. We're certainly thankful for your continued support and participation here live on platform, certainly by way of our various and collective Facebook pages, profiles, and groups. We're certainly thankful for our local, regional, national, and international listenership and participation by way of LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, X, and most certainly always IG. We're thankful for your continued support and participation. Thank you so much for always showing up and participating and helping us and supporting us live on the ground at the grassroots level, Daniel Neal, but certainly here in the virtual spaces. Thank you so much, Ray Alexander, for your continued support and participation here on platform. And thank you so much, Apostle Hudson, 1963, for your continued support and participation. And we look forward to meeting you all and hugging all of your necks come May 23rd at Xavier University and May 24th, certainly beginning with our procession at the river, our sacred procession and ceremony. The procession then takes us and culminates in Congo Square, where you will meet me at the ancestral tree and I will perform a brief ancestral ceremony there for us as we make our way into our official Vodou ceremony of the day. So tonight, family, come on in, welcome, and come on in. Please hit the like button, share the stream, drop your city, drop your flag, drop your ancestors' names. For tonight is not a regular live stream. Tonight is a call to action. We are officially 19 days away from the NOIVD Symposium, Saturday, May 23rd, 2026, and Xavier University. And tonight is about funding the movement because culture doesn't preserve itself. Traditions don't protect themselves. Events don't build themselves. Communities build them. And this means you. Let's talk straight tonight. We are bringing the diaspora together. Haiti, Benin, the Congo, Brazil, Cuba, Trinidad, the Carolinas, Martinique, the Gulf Coast, and we are doing it in New Orleans, the spiritual crossroads of America. But to do this right, to honor the ancestors, to honor the culture, to honor the legacy, we need resources, we need support, not vibes, not good intentions, resources. And that means funding transportation for elders and presenters, supporting international delegates, covering venue costs, supporting artists and cultural workers, providing food, materials, and accessibility, ensuring safety, structure, and dignity for all attendees. This is not corporate funded. This is not government funded. This is community funded. And tonight I'm asking the community to show up. We have an active live GoFundMe that can be accessed by way of our website at www.vodouday.org. V like Victor, O, D like David, OUDAY.org. And family, listen, the GoFundMe is live, and we need everybody watching this live stream to take action. Not later, not tomorrow, not when I get paid, now, because every dollar, every 5, every 10, every 20 moves us closer to honoring our ancestors with excellence. If you're watching this live stream, you can help. If you're watching this live stream, you can give something. If you're watching this live stream, you can share the link. Type in the chat, I'm giving tonight. Let me see it. Let the ancestors see it. Let the algorithms see it. If you own a business, if you run a brand, if you have a platform, if you believe in cultural preservation, if you believe in the power of African spirituality, if you believe in the diaspora rising, This is the moment to attach your name to something historic. We are offering sponsor recognition, program placement, vendor opportunities, brand visibility, cultural alignment with a global movement. And if you want to sponsor, type it in the chat, sponsor info, and we certainly will reach out. But you can access our sponsor packet, our promotional packet, by way of our website at www.vodouday.org, VODOUDAY.org. Volunteers, we need you too. More importantly, we need volunteers, active participants, and bodies on the ground. Money moves the mission, but people make the mission possible. We need ushers, greeters, tech support, runners, coordinators, setup and breakdown team, artist liaisons, cultural ambassadors. And if you can give your time, type volunteer in the chat. Artists, please, artists, step forward. Painters, drummers, dancers, photographers, filmmakers, digital creators, sculptors, designers, musicians. If you want your work to be part of a global cultural movement, this is your invitation. Type artist in the chat. The ancestors are watching how we show up, family. This is not just fundraising. This is not just logistics. This is not just planning. This is legacy work. This is cultural preservation. This is ancestral responsibility. And when we gather on May 23rd, the ancestors will gather with us. When we speak, they speak. When we rise, they will rise. But tonight, they are watching how we support. And as we move forward, and I invite my beloved co-hosts and panelists to unmute and join the conversation. Certainly those of you out there listening, watching, participating, enter your questions, comments, and chat. And we'll certainly do our best to respond to each and every one of you. If you're watching this live stream, I want you to type in the chat, I stand with NOIVD. I stand with NOIVD. Let me see it. I stand with NOIVD. Type it in the chat. Let the world see it. Let the ancestors see it. Then donate to the GoFundMe. Share the link. Tag a sponsor. Tag an artist. Tag a volunteer. Spread the word. Show up and be counted. Because on May 23rd, at the only Catholic historically Black college and university in America, Xavier University, we will be again making history. And I want you to be a part of that history. Aibobo, Ashe, Asheo, Merci, Mbute. Let's fund this movement. Let's build this legacy. Let's rise together. And beloved brother Joshua Nyland Tanner, my first priest, my Black Hawk Voodoo Wild Man, armor bearer, initiated member of my house, initiated member of La Source, and co-creator, co-administrator of NOIVD. We certainly welcome you and appreciate your continued support and participation and dedication to this platform. Time is money. The hours that you all have dedicated and committed is not overlooked. It's not underappreciated. Queen Mother, Sister Tony Val Martinez, Queen Mother, community activist, community mother, community resource person, and the very necessary community agitator when we certainly need that energy. Greetings to you, beloved. Please do unmute and come on in. And Ray Alexander, we certainly appreciate your continued support, promotion, participation for this event and on this platform. And we certainly look forward to hugging your neck on May 23rd and May 24th here in the city of New Orleans, Louisiana. Greetings and salutations, beloved. What say you and how you doing?
Hello, everyone. How's everyone tonight on the panel and in the listening audience? Also, please share on your social media platforms the advertisement for the day. Even if you're not in the New Orleans area, you never know who sees your news feed. So please share it. How's everybody else doing? Brother Ray Alexander?
Good
I
deal.
Yes, thank
believe
you.
Tony.
I believe you had a question for Joshua.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My question for Joshua was, Joshua, as a young priest, what are three things you think that people get
You
wrong
had it laying on the porch.
about Louisiana,
I left
the
it on the porch
Louisiana branch
smoking.
of Voodoo? And what is something special about the boots form and uniqueness that makes it so different from the other various forms of the diaspora?
Well, I would say that um, three things that I think of that people get wrong about Louisiana branch of voodoo is
Correct.
um, off the top of my head. I mean, the people that come and talk to me, and then has approached me about it, they always compare it to witchcraft and stuff like that. They compare it to, and I guess because of the colonial influence here in New Orleans in terms of its, oppression of the of or its propagation of Christian religion and its isolation of all the other practices that has been done. I'm assuming that's the reason why I get that a lot. They also refer to a lot of things in terms of things that people that ask me about Louisiana voodoo a lot of times haven't done any homework, so they kind of, or they've done some homework, but they haven't. Most of it's been based around things that they've seen on TV and television. So it's not like actual research. So they come with very vague questions, practically like, "Hey, is this real? Do you really believe this? Like, is it anything different than Haitian voodoo? Is it anything different than West African voodoo? Just things of that nature."
Okay.
If that's the other question, uh, something special about the boots form of uniqueness. I would say that because New Orleans is such a only New Orleans in America sits this port of New Orleans. I mean, this port of Mississippi, coming out of the middle of America, was a vital resource before the colonization of this country for trade and for goods, and it always has had that reputation. Um, so I would think that in terms of that, with the culture mixing with trade and with foods and goods and stuff like that, it has such a diverse and eclectic and also special uniqueness in terms of the American Indian association with the Mississippians that lived on the Mississippi, and this Mississippi River travels all the way up to Canada, up into close to Canada, up into the central part of Minnesota. So you have to understand that connection with the trade systems to understand the influence and the power um, that America has in its culture on. I mean, you can look at that. There's examples of that everywhere in terms of the way we dress, our style, our charisma, our the way we. I mean, there is a reason why people emulate us around the world for how we do everything that we do. The way we cook, the way we talk, the way we conversate. It's just it's a we are natural leaders and natural influencers of culture because we are the a lot of that came from out. I mean, culture. The culture has always been here and always been thriving through here um,
Okay.
for years, millions of
Okay.
years.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I brought that up because I think it's so important. the work that you're doing, and like even in Divine Prince Ty, of course, and like your visibility on TV and these documentaries, and and the Priest Ty and
Yeah.
Bianca. I feel like when it comes to like some of the American um contributions to African spirituality,
Yeah.
sometimes it's kind of like a downgrading of like American voodoo and American hoodoo and things of that nature. And I think
No.
the big thing is that America's huge, and there was a lot more differentiation of tribes and how that's impacted um, American folk practices, because there is more of a blend versus some of the island nations where there was more a cohesiveness, there was more singularity, like, if you want to say that, amongst the tribes. Divine Prince, would you say that Louisiana and like Louisiana voodoo having, like, for instance, like the strong Congo aspects, do you think that what differentiates Louisiana voodoo from Haitian voodoo, or like 21 divisions, or like the voodoo that's found in Benin, or some of the other any of the other diasporic religions in our hemisphere, is that there were smaller, more concentrated pockets of people who were able to build a more cohesive, you know what I mean, more cohesive structure with similar backgrounds, versus in Louisiana, you have people probably from dozens of different tribes with dozens of different spiritual practice, and that all
Yeah,
created a
I
gumbo.
think that's a misunderstanding. And we actually kind of discussed this today in our house at
Hmm.
our choir practice and our Creole class. That's one of the misconceptions.
Good.
Well, first, either New Orleans don't have no voodoo. That's a misconception, or it's as Brother Joshua said, witchcraft, or
Yeah.
somehow a corruption or watering down of varying, uh, you say, tribes or ethnic groups or practices and or traditions. Now, to sort of direct more towards your question, that's
Hmm.
universal and often misunderstood in voodoo worldwide. We say cohesive, but we have one strong mambo, Mommy Moon,
Hmm.
who's of a particular age, and I personally am 60, so I'm gonna say she's a little older than me, and she, remembers the songs a very specific way, a very specific order, uh, and with very unique and specific nuances to it. Now, Nag Merwan, world-renowned Haitian organ and musician, both will be a part of our International Vodou Day. Uh, has a slightly more modern take. Some would say that he's actually written and constructed the Prejo that we utilize now when it comes to Haitian Vodou and now Louisiana Vodou, where we're removing the mask, the synchronizing,
Mm.
the what's
The
the other word?
saints.
Starts with
Mm.
an A. Yeah, the amalgamation
Yeah.
of white imagery, Catholic saints, Christianity
Yeah.
from the ceremony. So those who might say, "Oh well, I grew up in voodoo and I understand, you know, how the praise show and the opening should sound." Well, that has changed. That has evolved over time. Our Asagwe, Mambo Asagwe, who was initiated by, I believe, Edgar Luis, I would say has the most traditional, uh, closer to to the oldest form of ceremony, uh, reglement. Um, but that's now challenged, and now we have another powerful member, Mambo. Oh, help me,
Zila.
Joshua. The other
Mama
Mambo
Zila.
was, yeah, Mamba
Ma-
Zila
Yeah.
from Martinique, but she now lives in Benin, but she was raised in Haiti. Okay. She has her whole kind of way of doing things. So just like I'm gonna put it in language you would understand. Just like church, it's not quite that uniform. It's not quite that synchronized across the board. There's certainly nuances. Another misconception and misunderstanding about I would say voodoo worldwide,
Hmm.
is that it's one thing, and
Yeah.
particularly here in the West. And I say West, I mean Haiti, Brazil, Dominican Republic, certainly Louisiana. Within the mysteries of the system, we're acknowledging a plethora of ethnic groups. Uh, People think it's all about Nago and Isheshe and Yoruba. That's in there. The Igbo, that's in there. The Congo, that's in there. Akan, that's in there. There are even languages
Yeah.
and nuances to the ceremony so old that many Haitians can't even translate the language, don't even have a
Mm.
frame of reference to draw on what our ancestors were recounting, repeating. So you might say an authentic ceremony is really an honoring of a host of ancestral guardians and bloodlines and lineages that came together in those, island nations and those sort of confined spaces and those, maroon enclaves. And they reconstituted what they remembered, what they were taught,
Yeah.
what was passed down to them. Because remember now, even their memories were a great deal more expansive than many of us today.
Hmm.
Many of you don't know your parents' phone number by heart. You don't know your best friend's phone numbers by heart. Things that my generation, Queen Mother, and Tony Val, uh, we had to memorize everybody's phone number.
I
You
think that's
know, we
magical.
if you got arrested, you had to know who you were going to call and how to reach them, from memory. So they were not only memorizing how to count. I say if they could remember how to count, and no matter what language they were now being forced to do it in, they certainly could remember their deities, their ritual processes, the cycles in coordination with nature. We're just in a different location now. So once you get beyond the veil and you're
Hmm.
active in the community, you see the synchronicity. And that's one of the things that we're seeking to highlight with NOIVD, by having this Ouida Benin delegation of voodoo practitioners and politicians, elders, this delegation of West Indian, Haitian, diasporic delegation, as well as the American presence. Because again, that for me personally, and I'm speaking for me, I'm not speaking for everyone, but I'm sure many of our team would support what I'm about to say. Um, this is all about us here in America and our
Yeah.
having access to what has otherwise been limited to us or difficult for us, or barriers of passport, barriers of income, barriers of language. And people will spend thousands of dollars to go to Cuba, to go to Nigeria, to go to Ghana for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'll
Divine
give it a
Prince.
month and
Div-
come back and question what they have, what they're doing, because the mentorship, until more modern times, was not in place. Today, it's certainly in place, and we meaning my house and also our larger house, the source, have many mentors, elders, practitioners from Haiti, from West Africa that are actively participating with us weekly in our
Yeah.
practice. So it's not fake, it's not made up, it's
No.
not whitewashed, it's absolutely authentic demonstration.
Okay, perfect. And then, Divine Prince, I have this is my a follow up question. Since your house is literally, I think, scattered like what I guess all four corners of the country. I think a lot of times when people think about voodoo in America, if they're not thinking about Haiti, they're thinking about Louisiana. But like, post the Great Migration, there was a lot of families that scattered and moved to like Texas and California, Mississippi, and so there's probably like people with lineage, family house lineages that are practicing voodoo outside of Louisiana, which so I was like, so I wanted to kind of bring that into because I feel like sometimes when you talk to people, they feel kind of like locked out. But like post migration, I mean, there had to be, voodoo. I mean, of course, it's voodoo worldwide, but a lot of those initial lineages were, migrated to across the country, and so there's
Yeah,
probably little pockets that are, of people who have of relation, due to
oh,
that.
it definitely is. I've traveled many of places throughout this country, and the most remote places you run into people that look just like us in the middle of nowhere, and you're like, what in the world? And we are everywhere.
But another misconception is that, you know, Black Americans, African Americans are somehow the least connected. Somehow we were the most brainwashed, the most, removed, from the practice. Somehow we, embrace Christianity, more than anybody. That's not true either. And I've had a rude awakening about Haitians, particularly Haitians, who don't want to hear voodoo, don't want the word voodoo mentioned around them, have no intentions of supporting this event because they, as one brother told me, he's on the battlefield for Jesus, and he finds this to be, a direct opposition, to what he's doing and what he's representing. And so last night, Saturday night, when I did my interview with WHIV, Brother Jolly Bartholomew, who does a weekly uh, uh, broadcast on Haiti, Haitian culture, Haitian New Orleans culture on WHIV radio every Saturday night from 8 to 10. We also discussed it. And he kind of laughed and he kind of chuckled, when I shared my experience. But he reaffirmed that it's absolutely taboo in the Haitian community,
Mhm.
except by the more educated demographic, the younger demographic, but they're similar to us. There's a group that has embraced capitalism, that has embraced Christianity, that has embraced the government politic, and so they've absolutely turned on the practice and the tradition, and they want absolutely nothing to do with it. They will mask their connections to voodoo, um, just to sort of maintain that public face.
Mhm.
So it's not just Black Americans, it's not just African Americans. I can't tell you how many times I've been told by Africans born on the continent that I was the most African person they had encountered in a while.
It's so funny that I feel like in many ways, I don't want to say that we're the younger, but in many ways, in America, I feel like a lot of our generation is awakening. I think it's been happening for a period of time, but it started to pick up, especially around for millennials and Gen Z. And as we're awakening, it feels like some of the rest of the that's where are closing their eyes, like they're buying into like a system that does not serve them. And I think that's heartbreaking. My heart weeps because we all know where that leads, and it's nowhere good for our people. And so it's, what do you do? We in many ways we're seen as what, like, the younger, but we're more versed in what's to come than what some of these other um, areas of the world. And I wish there was a way that we could, let them know, hey, like, this is not the way to go. You were actually closer to source, the way you went. Like, you're taking a big detour. I wish that we could talk to our brothers and sisters across the world and kind of warn them of what's to come, and to learn the lessons that we've learned so we have a better
Why
future.
can't we? Why can't we? Now, particularly in this particular moment in time in history, with the
Yeah,
technology and the education and the outlet, we literally all have a media hub at our fingertips. It's just a matter of learning how to use it. Now, sometimes it might feel like you swimming upstream. You might be posting content, And you know you're too busy watching how many people are clicking like, is it going viral? You know, who is it reaching? But I found through my own experience, authenticity is number one. People are going to gravitate to authenticity. They want to know your authentic story and place where you are on your journey. Now we're getting a lot of masking, pretending. Well, I want to look like I know what I'm doing. I want to look like I've been doing this all my life. You know, let me put on the right outfit. Let me dress up my background. Let me apply a filter. Let me do a quick AI search and read this script and try and present like I have some connection to the material. And that, like anything trending, will wither away. It will come and go. I've seen it from Yahoo 360 to MySpace. I've seen it, the NING network. I've seen them come and go. I've seen people, as Sister Tony would say, shapeshift and cleave from one thing to another. So it's important for us, especially those of us who claim to be authentic to this, true to this, to
Yeah.
do so 24/7 every day. To come out of the closet, stop hiding from your family. Y'all gonna have problems with them anyway. So you know, get beyond that and demonstrate in front of your children, in front of your children's friends, in front of your nieces and nephews, in front of the community, your willingness to shake off the shackles and evolve into something more in line with our destiny.
Well, once again, we've come to the end of the road on this show. And I want Divine Prince to acknowledge all of our listening audience that he can and close us out for the night.
Well, we're
Divine
certainly
Prince.
always thankful and appreciative for your continued support and participation by way of all of our individual and collective social media platforms, Facebook pages, groups, and profiles, our regional, local, national, and international listenership and participation by way of LinkedIn, and particularly our French speaking listenership. And we certainly appreciate our YouTube audience and Twitter X, and always IG, Instagram. Greetings to you and yours. There are coming to be so many names for me to sort of call out on Instagram, so I'm really not going to be able to continue to do that. But I certainly appreciate you all and your continued support, participation. Do join us tomorrow night and weeknights at 9 p.m. U.S. Central Standard Time on a platform near you, or by way of our QR code, which is present in the upper left corner, I believe, of your screen, or by way of the scrolling StreamYard URL. We offer you peace, love, joy, and prosperity, remembering that all is truly and indeed a blessing. If you can just see beyond the veils, for it is all just an illusion and a test and one of the greatest divine mysteries of this life cycle. Good night, Aibobo Odabo.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
There's a generation of young people right now who grew up listening to hip hop, watching black creators, absorbing black culture through their phones, and somewhere in that process, the N word got absorbed too. And a lot of y'all are using it like it's just slang, and it's not. There's a very real, violent, and gruesome history tied to that word.
This is a hot take, but if you're black and you grew up richer than me, I don't think you should be able to say the N-word. It's a struggle word. My mom, growing up, my mom didn't have a job till I was in 4th grade. And then when she did get hired, she was making $24,000 a year for herself and 4 kids. Like, my mom can't say the N-word, but Will Smith can?
Every culture has a word that was used against them, and they eventually made it their own. The queer community took a slur that was shouted before people got beaten in the street and turned it into an identity, an academic field, a point of pride. The Chicano community took a word used to mock Mexican Americans as uneducated and low class and turned it into a political movement. That's called reclamation. What marginalized people do with language used to diminish them, they take it back. The black community did the same thing with the N-word, and a lot of Gen Z thinks that means the door is wide open, and it absolutely is not. And I need you all to sit with yourself and genuinely ask, why do I, as a white person, want to say this word? Why? The word was not just an insult, it was infrastructure woven into the fabric of the inception of America and its subsequent development into the richest country in the world through slave labor from the people subjected to that word. It appeared in legal documents that classified enslaved people as property. It was written into slave codes that determined who had rights and who didn't. It showed up in wills, bills of sales, census records, not as hate speech, but as the official language of ownership. The legal architecture of slavery was built with this word inside of it. It was used to dehumanize black people at any given moment.
We were riding down this block and these white people start saying, "Get out of here, niggas. You know, get out of my neighborhood. Don't come to this neighborhood." Then they start hitting on her.
We went on a bike hike to McDonald's. We didn't mean to bother anybody.
We had a nice
parade. We saw a gathering, so we went down there to see what was happening. All right. I mean, we didn't bother anybody. We weren't looking for trouble. I never even know people around here were like that. I've never experienced anything like this in my life.
They always say we're doing everything, right? We didn't. Every time the white people come down the block, we don't push them out their neighborhood and throw rocks and start hitting them. We don't bother the white people around our neighborhood, but when we get in a white neighborhood, they just push us out.
Do you know the ice cream truck song? Original was "Nigga love a watermelon, ha 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 ha.
Nigga love a watermelon, ha ha ha. Nigga love a watermelon, ha ha. Burn it up with the baby with the hammer on the road. And it's nothing like the watermelon for the hungry.
Making fun of black people during the era of minstrels, blackface, and poking fun at the fact that black people loved this fruit that was brought from Africa to America during the slave trade. And when slavery ended, the word didn't lose its power, it intensified. It was the word spoken at lynchings. Over 4,000 documented cases of black people being publicly murdered while crowds watched. Crowds that brought their children, crowds that took photographs and made postcards. And that's just the documented cases. We know it was probably tenfold this amount because whatever happened to niggers didn't matter. It was used during rapes that were never prosecuted because the legal system didn't recognize the victims as full humans. It was printed in newspapers that celebrated mob violence as a community entertainment. It was shouted from passing cars, written on notes, slipped under doors, carved into trees next to nooses. This wasn't ancient history. The last documented lynching in America happened in 1981. There are people alive right now who heard that word as a direct precursor to violence. Your grandparents' generation lived this. Some of your parents did too, and some of them used the word against my parents and my grandparents. Shit, I even got called a nigger when I was in school in Boston right before 5 white guys attempted to jump me. And that was in 2008. But for you to try to change the definition of the N-word to mean poor is just an added layer of racism in action. As if to say, all black people are poor, and if we're not poor, we all of a sudden aren't black. But you are, because you're poor and white. It's always funny to me to see poor white men exist in America because you're literally the demographic this country was made for, and yet you're still using black people as your scapegoat in the big year of 2026. It's not my fault you couldn't use the privilege provided to you to pick yourself up by your white bootstraps. But that's what's underneath the reclamation of that word. That's the history hip-hop was built on top of, not instead of. Because the aspects of American culture that are widely consumed and celebrated were created by black Americans in spite of this country attempting to erase and oppress us. When black artists and communities use that word, they're not erasing the history. It's an aspect of surviving it, doing what every marginalized group does, taking the weapon out of their oppressor's hand and deciding what it means on our own terms. This is a profound act of cultural power. With that being said, not all black people use this word. It's not a part of my daily vernacular and not said often, but it's within my purview to use that word, a word that was used to subjugate my ancestors for centuries if I want to, not you. But reclamation has always belonged to the people it was used against. That's true for queer, that's true for Chicano, and it's absolutely true for the word nigger. The in-group gets to decide the terms. The people who lived under the word get to determine what it means now. It's not arbitrary. That's the entire logic and point of reclamation. You don't get to inherit the remix without inheriting the history that made it necessary, the trauma and PTSD embedded into our DNA and cultural violence inflicted upon our family and communities. You just don't. The disconnect is happening right now with a lot of Gen Z, that the algorithm delivered black culture without context. Y'all got the music, the slang, the aesthetics, the dance moves, but not the weight. And we see this with the attempted colonization of several aspects of our culture, redefining what words mean like unk and clock it, and calling baby hair sticky bangs. TikTok didn't come with a history lesson about what the word accompanied for 400 years. YouTube didn't explain what it felt like to hear it from a passing car in 1962. You consume the output of a culture that survived extraordinary violence without ever learning what that violence actually was. And while that's not entirely your fault, a lot of y'all came up in school systems that actively avoided this history, watered it down, skipped the hard parts, kept it abstract so nobody could feel uncomfortable. But you're old enough now to fill in what school left out. And that's why I use my page to tell the hard truths about black culture, because if left to America, we'd be taught that this country was a utopia for all, and white people can't sit in the uncomfortableness of their own history. And unfortunately, with most things, as it relates to black people in this country, what we do, wear, sing, produce is what the majority want to consume, which happens to be white people. So the word traveled and the history didn't. And before you use it again or want to use it, ask yourself, what do you actually know about where it comes from? Not the song, not the group, not the chat, the actual origin, the actual documents, the actual bodies, the context. And I hope now you get it. Stay black, stay blessed.
Please, allow me to show you something.
They say I'm crazy and that might be true. I got this right in my DNA, yeah, I'm coming for you. It's time we turn the tables, strip these motherfuckers on you. I wanna see you hanging from trees, it's time you pay for your dirt and your showtime. You created the monster, you created the beast. Now all this savagery you just gon' reap. I'm coming home, daddy, to the plantation, and I'm taking the lives of everybody, including the children, on some Nat Turner. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. I met my girl Harriet at the gate. If you wanna know how she doing, yeah, she's straight. But she had one question: when we gon' get up? All that talking tough, yeah, we don't walk it tough. She got it locked and loaded, got that piece up on her side. She looked me in my eyes and said, "Meet you ready to ride?" Moving forward, you gotta use both eyes. Watch your front and watch your back. Keep your hands up on your gas. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. He sit at the table, but he don't order no bacon. He greet me in those words, assalamu alaikum. Got them glasses on his face and them waves in his head. He go by the name of Detroit West Side. He looks me in my eye and says, you only get one try. Know that your biggest opposition will come from the inside. I know you wanna love them all, but don't even try, because they'll smile up in your face while plotting your demise. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. We are the children of the ancestors that weren't punk bitches.